and welcome to the Impossible Rebellion. I'm Suzanne Savage and we're here on the streets once again. We're taking back the streets which are ours and which have always been ours, and we're here on them to call out government failures, media failures. They haven't told the truth about the climate and ecological crisis, and we're here to do that for them. And we've had so many actions. It's just been one thing after another this week, and we're all tired and exhilarated and really wanting to welcome lots more people to join us, because this is just the beginning. I'm gonna fight them all.
Protesters blocked one of London's busiest junctions,
calling on the government to act against climate change.
We started off on Sunday, the 22nd of August, at Guildhall, led by our brothers and sisters and siblings of co-liberation. They scaled the entrances of Guildhall and kicked us off with this sacred direct action to start the rebellion. And this was in commemoration of the Haitian Revolution in 1791, where this was the first and only successful uprising of enslaved black people to take over a country. The amazing energy and enthusiasm of that uprising carries straight through to the rebellion. So we held that in our hearts, and Guildhall was the best way to start. Then we rolled on until Monday, and unbelievably, the largest pink table that you could ever imagine was landed right in the heart of Covent Garden. And this is part of our crisis talks themes, where we're saying to the government and we're saying to the public, come to the table, have crisis talks, talk to us about what's happening. The police, of course, surrounded, kettled it, but they held it through the night, the brave rebels in the shaking cold. We really kept up the momentum on Tuesday. The brave Welsh Cymru rebels went in front of HMRC and did a wonderful lock-on blockade there to call out the relationship between the government and Barclays Bank. There was a fashion action at Selfridges which talked about the toxic industry of fast fashion and how that is exploiting the people and the workers and the planet all at the same time. We also had just an extraordinary second lock-on occupation on Cambridge Circus, where again we created that rebel atmosphere with this big planet Earth that rebels were locked onto. And on Wednesday, we kept up the pressure. We started at 10 o'clock in the morning with Amazon Rebellion at the Brazilian embassy. This was an important solidarity action to call out what's happening to the indigenous people in Brazil, facing the crisis of trying to protect some of those lost lands. We then marched to a place that I know will be dear in all of your hearts, and that's to Oxford Circus, where we had another occupation. And this time it was an occupation from female, intersex, non-binary and trans people. And it was another wonderful pink structure with people glued on, locked on around it. And that occupation held on well into the night. On Thursday, we marched from Hyde Park down to the Department for Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy. And there we occupied the space in front of it and delivered a really important demand that they must stop funding fossil fuels immediately. We held that space. We had a visit from George Monbiot and Kate Rayworth. The youth delivered our demand, and we let the government know that we're going to continue to hold them to account for what they're doing. At the same time, our sister movement, Animal Rebellion, were off causing mischief at the Queen's fountains at Buckingham Palace, which they dyed blood red. And that was to draw attention to the involvement of the Crown Estate in animal agriculture, as well as all the hunting that occurs on those lands. On Friday, the Blood Money March was a chance for Extinction Rebellion to review the history of colonization and the history of blood-soaked hands here in the City of London.
Black lives matter! Black lives matter! No justice! No peace!
We went to the financial institutions, to the banks, and to the government buildings who have been repressing people since the beginning of the British Empire and continue with their extractivist industries. It's time to decolonize. It's time to say no more. And with the blood on their feet that was spilled at Paternoster Square, our rebels went to the Mansion House Junction, just a few hundred meters away from Bank, for yet another occupation in order to continue to engage with people about the crisis that we're facing. Lots of our rebels joined in the Animal Rebellion Rights for Animals March, which went through central London, calling out that ecological crime that continues to happen. And at the same time, we had a global majority rally that was organized by XRISN, the Internationalist Solidarity Network, and their allies in communities of resistance. On Sunday, we took our message into the Finsbury Park community for the global carnival of climate justice. And this was our opportunity to engage with different parts of London in fun and frivolity, but also really serious message about the different climate and ecological and justice crises we're facing. I'm here in the City of London because the support for fossil fuels is the root cause of the climate and ecological emergency. If this City of London were a country, it would be the 9th largest emitter of carbon dioxide in the world. So we are bringing that intermediate demand here that we must stop funding fossil fuels. So with everything that happened in week 1, it's amazing, but we still have another week to go of things to do. There's going to be ongoing occupations. They keep popping up, and they're going to continue to pop up. You won't know where they're going to happen until just beforehand, but we'll keep putting out the information in the Rebellion broadcast and on the links below. So here I am in the City of London. The Royal Exchange and the Bank of England are right here. This is the center of power. This is the center of the financial economy, which is strangling us all. And these streets are empty today, but this is going to be filled with rebels next week. Our beautiful, audacious actions with humor and love will be here. And I want you to come and join me and be part of this historic moment. It's going to be absolutely electrifying. And this is now, the time is now for the impossible rebellion. Come and join me. I want to see you and embrace you and bring you into our rebel family. Come and stand with me.
Gotta tell